Hey,
Dr. Bill
how are you?
Dorfman. I am blessed. How about yourself?
Good. Let me get my headset.
No problem. Go get your headset. In the meantime, I'm going to look at your background of fishes. That looks so cool. We're definitely going to talk about that in a second here. So let me just wait for you to
It's
come.
virtual.
That's what I'm noticing. Is that all screens like LEDs in the back?
Yeah.
That is super cool. That is amazing. So let me just start off by introducing Dr. Bill Dorfman to my community. He is a celebrity surgeon dentist. He is just phenomenal in everything that he does. He's been featured on Extreme Makeover, Doctors, and so many other great shows. And for your community who doesn't know me, my name is Christopher Dedeyan, and I'm a professional speaker and a peak performance business and life coach. So, Dr. Bill, let me start off by telling you thank you very much for spending this time with us. And I'm going to start off with the first question, which I believe is somewhat of a dichotomy. The fact that you are a very famous dentist, because the dentists I know are not famous, don't have your pool, don't have your approach. And I've been checking out everything you're doing. It's so impressive. How did that process start for you? Was it from the Extreme Makeover show that it really started off with ABC, or was it something that was in the works before that?
Um, you know, I'll tell you how it started. I graduated from high school and I went to Granada Hills High School. And I stayed friends with a lot of the people that I went to school with. And when I opened up my dental practice, a woman came in named Susan Hartzler, who I went to school with. And she needed a lot of dental work. And she said, "Hey, would you like to barter with me?" I'm like, "Well, what do you do?" She says, "Well, I'm a publicist." And I'm like,
Okay.
"Well, what does that do?" So she explained it to me. And I really didn't feel like I needed a publicist. But on the other hand, I thought, what the heck, right? So I started working with Susan, and it just opened up a whole new world to me. And, you know, she started putting me out for different, magazines and different articles and then different TV shows. And, little by little, I realized the importance of PR. And back then, you have to understand, this was like 1986. You weren't even born. Back then, like, nobody did this. Doctors didn't do this. So, I started doing all these TV appearances and whatnot. And then when Extreme Makeover happened, I got a phone call from ABC and they asked me if I would come in for a screen test. Now, had I known then what I know now, I would have run to the studio. But I'm like, what do you mean a screen test? I'm a dentist, right? I happened to have a demo reel. My wife was an actress, and so she would compile all of the stuff that she did on TV and whatnot, made a reel. And I thought, this might be handy one day. So I went ahead and I sent that demo reel to ABC, and they hired me off that reel.
Wow. So that is amazing. The thing that's amazing about that, you just mentioned, first of all, in 1986, you had the forefront to understand the personal branding aspect, which back then there wasn't understood. And right now, everybody's on that wave. And to position yourself almost as an expert within that industry, now becoming, like you mentioned, like the United States, like America's dentist is amazing. So that's really cool. And you still work with that same publicist, in fact?
Well, the thing about publicists is as you grow, you kind of need different things, right?
Hmm. Okay.
So, I mean, she was amazing. I mean, the first thing she did that was like epic was she got me named as the best cosmetic dentist in LA Magazine. She literally had a connection there. She had everybody in that office come to me as patients, and and that was huge for me. But as I progressed on and on, I kind of went to a different level in the whole
Yeah.
PR thing.
That is amazing. So what I understand, anybody that does want to, put them out there, definitely a PR or a publicist could help you out with that. So that's great.
Yeah, and not just that. I mean, look, when Instagram hit the radar, a few years ago, what do I know about Instagram? Nothing. So instead of me trying to fumble through it, I hired a whole team. I
Hmm.
have a whole team that does my Instagram. I'm the only dentist in the world with 1.4 million followers on Instagram. And you could say, well, what's so great about that? Well, I'll tell you what's great about that is, you get some very lucrative sponsorships. I did the
Hmm.
whole, IO campaign for Oral-B when they launched their new toothbrush. They had me, Eva Longoria, and Mario Lopez,
I love that. I love
you
that. So you're
know?
able to leverage your influence essentially, and within your field. And I want to talk about dentistry. And here's my main question. Okay, when it comes to dentistry, there is very much a dichotomy, I think, within the population. Some people go like every single time to take care of themselves, and a lot of people don't even show up in a regular basis. Why do you think that is? And what can we change with the belief of certain people when it comes to dentistry? Does it really hurt all the time you go in? Like, what's that ideology to the common person when it comes to going in regular checkups and so on and so forth?
I never even thought about not going to the dentist because that was just part of my childhood. I mean, my parents took us every 6 months, and so that was ingrained in me. And now I live in it. I don't understand why people don't go. I mean, I teach a program every summer called LEAP. It's a motivational leadership program for high school and college kids. In fact, I'm going to do a quick little plug for LEAP.
Go
Um,
for it.
I need to get my brochure, and I'm wearing my sweatpants too. So
No, no worries. We're in the Zoom lifestyle right now, still in the
okay,
somewhat in the COVID time, so
all
it's
right.
completely
So
okay.
LEAP is a motivational leadership program for high school and college kids. The next program will start July 18th to the 24th. And we basically teach kids the skills that they need to be successful in life. And we do it by bringing in amazing speakers. I mean, in the past, we've had Mark Wahlberg, Anthony Hopkins, Kathy Bates, Paula Abdul, Michael Strahan.
That's cool.
I mean, it's on and on and on and on, and it's really really a phenomenal program.
I love
And
that.
this year we'll actually be able to do it live. So we're going to have 100 students live at UCLA. We will have probably 10,000 students virtually. So if you have any friends or know anybody who has kids that are 15 to 25, they can go to www.leapfoundation.com and
Awesome.
get more information. But it's just around the corner, and it's pretty exciting.
I
So
love that. I love that. And I'll tag everything that you're mentioning down below. So the LEAP website and so on and so forth. And is that like a big part of your philanthropy work? Is that somewhere that you kind of spend most of your time when it comes to giving back to the youth? And when we're talking about youth, we're not just talking about dental students, right? This is like open to anybody that wants to get motivated and just listen to these amazing speakers like you mentioned.
yeah, I mean, the program is specifically for students 15 to 25 plus,
Okay.
but, and yes, my mantra is learn so you can earn and then return. And I'm in
I
the
love that.
phase of my career where, I'm all about just, helping. Look, I've had thousands of dental students come and, observe in my office and shadow me, and then thousands and thousands of kids go to LEAP. And, I love doing it. I love watching these
I love
kids,
it.
succeed and excel. And
I,
we kind of got sidetracked. I got off on the LEAP thing. What were we talking about right before that?
So no worries. This is kind of like the aspect of Friday flow. Like we just have that conversation. We will jump back to that, but I just want to highlight one thing that you really said something that's extremely important for everybody that's listening. In the beginning of your career, you want to learn. Then as you bring more value, you start earning and then you give back. Now, the giving back aspect doesn't necessarily have to be at the end of your career. It could be within any point of your career. And that could be just giving your knowledge if you don't have like money to give. That could be giving your time, just like you said. And I love that you're doing that. So if we take it back to the dentistry, because I'm like, as I know that like we're gonna have this
Oh, right,
conversation
right. We're
together,
getting on the dentistry. Like,
I
so, yeah, I mean, so the reason I went into LEAP was this. One of the things I teach at LEAP is you should get a physical every year. And so
Okay.
what I say is do it on your birthday. That way you don't forget. So every year on my birthday, I get a physical. Why? Because just like dentistry, your health, all these things, when you find things early on, it's super easy. For instance,
Yeah.
if you have a little cavity, we just fill it. If you don't fill it, it becomes a root canal. And then a root canal needs a crown. And now you're looking at something that's $4, $5, $6, $7,000 when a little filling's just like $200, right?
Hmm.
And if
Hmm.
you really wait too long, then you need to have the tooth extracted and then have an implant, and then then you're looking at thousands more. So I mean, just from a financial perspective, you're not doing yourself a favor by not going. So yes, you should go every 6 months. There are some people that need to go every 3 months. Your dentist will tell you.
Man, first of all, that's perfect. It makes perfect sense. So you rather work at the problem before it actually appears. And I have a question once again when it comes to dentistry and for, let's call it the layman people, which I'm including myself when it comes to that. When we go into the grocery stores or any corner store that we want to buy toothpastes or any type of product, why is there so many different ones? It kind of gets us like mixed up, like the Colgate, the Oral-B's. There's so many different types. What are the good ones that we need? Is there one specific? Is it just the marketing side? Is it the ones with the whitening and all that stuff? And I do know that you have a company that does whitening strips and all that stuff, which I want to talk about. But what can you kind of tell us when it comes to that of like buying the proper product? Is there a wrong one? Is there a right one?
You know, I think it's really important when you buy toothpaste that it has fluoride in it because
Okay.
fluoride works. You don't need to take fluoride pills or ingest it, but you definitely want to brush it on your teeth, and it can't be too abrasive. Other than that, you can't go wrong. All of these whitening toothpaste, it's a joke. Toothpaste can't whiten your teeth. It's impossible. Why? Because in order to whiten your tooth, you need to have the whitening product sitting on your teeth for at least 10 to 15 minutes. You don't brush
Okay.
that long, right? So there's no whitening toothpaste that actually whitens your teeth. The only way it could make your teeth appear whiter is if it's abrasive and you're brushing off a lot of gunk that's making your teeth look dark. So there you go.
Okay. Thank you for that. You just dropped some solid knowledge because now I'm going to approach it completely differently. And when you said at the end, it appears whiter. What's the difference between using a strip or using something that's going to stay on your teeth for X amount of time before taking out towards the appearance of whitening?
Right. That's a very good question. So there's a difference between whitening your teeth and having them look whiter. So if you have a tooth and it's all covered in tobacco and coffee and all that, and you polish that off, the tooth is going to look brighter. But
Mm.
the actual tooth is not a brighter color. If you want to actually brighten the color of your tooth, you need to use something with carbamide or hydrogen peroxide.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm gonna take all these down and I'm gonna re-listen to this conversation here because I'm definitely gonna approach how I take care of my teeth in a different way. And talking about taking care of our teeth, body, kind of gonna transition here. You're somebody that is physically very impressive. I'm gonna be like very honest, like especially like the way that you just did your GQ thing and you just said you're, if I'm not mistaken, the first one at a certain age to do a GQ shoot with no shirt on. And I'm actually co-authoring a book right now on the correlation of like being physically healthy and how that helps you within your work. Can you talk to me about that? Like, why do you work out? Is it because you want to be a better dentist? Is it because you want to look good? What's the real value for you to take care of yourself at such a high level?
You know, it's funny. I was always an athlete. I swam all through high school. I did gymnastics and swimming in college. And when I started doing dentistry, I realized that I was always in pain. I had pain in my back and my neck and my shoulder. And so I started working out more. And I realized that when I worked out, I didn't have the pain. And so it actually, was something that I felt I really needed to do in order to continue practicing dentistry. And then, I invented Zoom, right?
Yes, yes. And I do want to
Okay.
talk about that. So you could
Zoom
jump
tooth
into it,
whitening.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back in 2010, we sold that company to Philips. And
Okay.
so we sold Discus Dental. That was the company that invented Zoom tooth whitening. And I kind of went to half time. So I actually bumped up the workout. So where I used to go 2 or 3 times a week, I go every day. And I'm in better shape today at 62 than I was when I was 25.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And the company that you sold, Zoom, was that famous day that you said within your career that was the changer, which was the 10th of the 10th? Is that day?
Absolutely. So
Can,
at Leap, I always give the kids this little pop socket, a 10.
okay.
And
Okay.
the reason I give them that is because I tell them, look, in life, you need to walk like a 10, talk like a 10, act like a 10, but most importantly, surround yourself with other kids that are 10s, right? And so, we have this thing we call the 10 culture. Well, ironically, we sold Discus Dental on 10, 10, 10 at 10 a.m., which was crazy.
I love that how sometimes the universe kind of gives you little hints and little showings. That's so interesting. And I love the fact that you're running with that 10 and you're absolutely right. If you hang around people that are 10, you're just going to level up. And if you hang around people that are not that number, then you're just going to be attracted to that. It's the same vibration that goes towards that. So Dr. Bill, thank you for sharing that. And another thing I really want you to talk about, which I mean, obviously you're highly successful as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a doctor, but you talk about something specific when it comes to when you have an opportunity. And I'm not going to give it away. I want you to talk about it because you're the first person that I heard talk about it and eloquently explain an opportunity. Can you please tell me about what do you
Yeah.
do when you have an opportunity?
So, I mean, basically, you know, at Leap, we try to get as much information into these students' heads as we can. And I always say if there's just two things that I'd like students to walk away from Leap with, it's this. Number one, don't wait for opportunities in life, make them.
Mm-hmm.
If I meet another millennial who tells me they're waiting for the universe to do something for them, I just want to tear my hair out. The universe doesn't care about you, ever. You need to care about you. And number two, when you do get an opportunity, don't take it, master it. And there's a big difference. When ABC put me on Extreme Makeover, dentistry, great. TV, not so great. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. And I watched the first few episodes and I was appalled at how bad I was. But instead of waiting to get fired, what did I do? I went and I took acting classes, hosting classes, teleprompting classes. I made myself the best version of me that I could be on that show so they wouldn't fire me. And as a result, our company exploded. When I started Extreme Makeover, we were at about 76 million a year in sales. When I finished Extreme Makeover, we were almost at 200 million a year in
Let's
sales.
go. Let's go. I love that. I love that aspect. And like I said, when I was watching your stuff, the mastering aspect of it is one thing. So when you have the opportunity, that's one thing. But look at what you can do to level up and be better. And that example is just phenomenal. And man,
Thank you.
it's just great because I'm all about personal growth over there. And Dr. Bill, now that you kind of said that you kind of took a step back and you're doing a bit less, work time and you're still doing it because you thoroughly are passionate about what you do. Other than the philanthropy stuff, what do you do with the time that you have off of it a bit more? Is there some hobbies that you like kind of tap into that you find is super important for your balance as a person within this world, essentially?
I mean, I love exercising. So I
Okay.
pretty much do that every day. In the winter, I have a house in Deer Valley. So I go up there and I ski like every other weekend. In the summer, I'm an avid scuba diver. I love planning scuba trips. I just got back from Mexico. I took my three daughters and we went to Punta Mita and it was amazing. And then right after that, I came home, changed my clothes, and I just went to Napa Valley for a retreat with YPO. It's a Young Presidents Organization. It's kind of a joke now. We're called YPO Gold because we're not young anymore. And they should just drop the G and call it old, but whatever. So I did that. So I love to travel. In the last few weeks, since more and more people are getting vaccinated and all that, I've actually gone on a lot of trips, and I haven't traveled in a year and a half, so it was nice.
Yeah, that perfectly makes sense. Obviously, that industry is going to blow up, and I love the fact that you're able to kind of balance yourself and take a time off to do these things and whatever. Because I truly believe your conscious mind works best when your subconscious mind works best when your conscious mind is not working. And to do so, you need to take those breaks. And I'm sure great ideas come about for your business, for everything else. And Dr. Bill, one last question I have over here. Uh, what is next for you? Like, what is the next goal within your company? Where are we going from here? Or is it still the TV presence? Do you have, like, what are your goals and ambitions moving forward?
Well, I'm still practicing dentistry. I love doing that. I'm actually filming a new TV show today that I can't talk about, so I'm going to go do that
Okay.
when we're finished. And I'm launching two cool new products this year.
Okay. Can you tell us what the products are or not yet?
I can. One is a new whitening strip. I had to sign a non-compete when I sold my company, so um, I wasn't allowed to do whitening, and I am now. So we're partnering with a big firm, and they said, Dr. Bill, you show us a great new whitening technology, and we'll do it. So I did, and we're doing it,
Let's
and
go.
it's a new whitening strip, and it's called Poof.
Poof.
Poof. The
Okay.
strips and the stains disappear at the same time. It's pretty awesome.
Okay. I'm definitely going to look for that. Is it going to be on the market soon or we're
It'll
in
be out
pre-production?
hopefully in 3 months.
Okay.
And the other is a new gum that I'm launching.
A chewing gum?
My company used to have a chewing gum called BreathRx gumballs. And, the gumballs were great. Um, you know, what I decided to do with them is a little bit novel. Um, I don't drink coffee, but there are times when I actually feel like I just need some caffeine, and I don't drink alcohol. So when I would go out with my friends, I'd have a Red Bull, you know,
Okay.
and so uh, I started using NoDos, which are little caffeine pills. That's just 200 milligrams of caffeine. The problem is they don't taste that good. If you swallow it, it takes a while to work. If you chew it up, it works really fast. So what I would do is grab a gumball, chew up the gumball with the NoDos, and basically, like in 10 minutes, you're like buzzing around, right? So I made caffeinated chewing gum, and they're called Buzz Balls.
Okay, first of all, the name is super cool, Buzz Balls. So really excited for that. And where can we go get these products? Are you saying it's going to come out?
So
Is it directly to consumer or?
the the as yet to be determined. I
Okay,
mean, there's a few different places we're launching, but trust me, when they're ready to go, you'll see it all over my Instagram. So
okay,
follow my Instagram, you'll see it on
that,
there. And
okay.
also, I have a really really fun podcast called Meet the Mentor. So
Let's go.
all these great guys, men and women that I've interviewed at Leap and whatnot, we put this all on Meet the Mentor, and so there's a lot of really amazing stories and interviews with people on there.
I'll definitely go check it out. And I know that you have top name people within there from Strahan to Mark Wahlberg, like you mentioned. So there's some great people over there. And actually, let me ask you this last question. What is the number one thing that you've learned as an entrepreneur, successful person, and you've got people to interview that translates to a young person becoming successful? Is there one specific advice or chains of advices? What would you kind of talk to on that end?
I'll tell you, it's pretty universal. The biggest factor in holding people back from success is fear of failure.
Mhm.
People don't try things because they're afraid to fail. So I want you to embrace a whole new perspective on failure. I never fail, ever. Why? Because
You
if I
learn.
do something and it doesn't come out the way I want it to, I don't look at that as failure. I look at that as practice.
Mhm.
And then you do it again and again and again until you get it right. But we notion that practice makes perfect. No, practice makes permanent. So
Mhm.
what you need to do if you're not getting the results that you want is get a mentor, get information, get knowledge and change. Don't keep doing the same thing over and over again because you won't succeed. But you actually don't fail till you quit. So just don't quit and you'll never fail.
I mean, just that last part. I mean, please, guys, re-listen to it, open your ears, because you just dropped so many gems there, Dr. Bill. Thank you very much. And one last question: what can I do to support you more? Is there anything that I could do to help you out in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I mean, share the information about LEAP with your followers. I mean, I'd love to
Perfect.
get as many kids as we can involved in it. It will always be a phenomenal program. We spent all year putting it together. So if you can help support that, I'd love it.
I definitely will. And like I said, I'm going to tag everything down below. So once again, Dr. Bill, thank you very much for, taking this time with us and giving us all this knowledge. Continue doing your amazing work. I'm definitely going to follow your stuff and look at when these new products are going to come out, because I definitely want to try that caffeine gum and all the whitening strips. So thank you very much for everything. And we'll be connecting very soon as well. Have a blessed day.
Okay, thanks. Hey, Christopher, text me your address and I'll send you some buzz balls.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. I
All
appreciate
right.
that. I'll do that right away.
All right.
All right. Have
Okay.
a great one. Speak to you soon. Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye.